Now at 6 on Time Warner Cable News on ABC 45, digging deeper, we look into violations inspectors found at the Guilford and Davidson County animal shelters, why the state director of animal welfare says this is one of the hardest investigations she's been part of. Plus, verdict watch, will it be guilty or not guilty for the North Carolina police officer charged with voluntary manslaughter? And a Confederate monument on the campus of a college is vandalized again.
You're watching Time Warner Cable News on ABC 45.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cheryn Stone. We will have those stories coming right up. First here at 6 o'clock. Meteorologist Terri Bennett is here with the first check of your weather on the One's forecast. And Terri, it just looked like one of those days when it could start raining at any moment.
You can almost squeeze the moisture out of the air outside, and that is not a situation that's going to be changing anytime soon for us. There is the chance for an isolated thunderstorm. I do think we see a few more peaks of sunshine tomorrow, Cheryn, so it will be even hotter, which means that comfort level is going to be even farther down. And we also have a fourth named tropical storm of the season. We're going to talk about that and your weekend forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Cheryn?
All right, see you then. Thank you, Terri. There have been red flags at the Guilford and Davidson County animal shelters for quite some time now, but it's the most recent findings that have animal lovers shaken up. Our Elaina O'Connell has been following this story. She joins us live from the Guilford County shelter with details about what led the counties to take over. Elaina.
Well, Cheryn, today I went through years of inspection and investigation reports, and the vet I spoke with says that in her entire career, this investigation was the hardest one she's ever had to deal with. Dr. Patricia Norris, the state's director of animal welfare, says her department received a complaint regarding the UAC and how it was operating the Guilford and Davidson County shelters. A complaint Norris decided was worth looking into.
We have acted as a resource for them. We have told them what needs to be done. We are telling them how we can help.
The acting director of the Guilford County Animal Shelter says on Thursday they are going to have a very extensive walkthrough of this facility. Right now it is closed to the public, but they're hoping to reopen under the county's direction on Saturday. Reporting live in Greensboro, Elaina O'Connell, Time Warner Cable News on ABC 45.
A fire ripped through the Aaron's rent-to-own store in High Point this morning. The store is a total loss, and the cause is under investigation by the High Point Fire Department. Meg Smith has more.
Firefighters got the call around 12:20 Tuesday morning, but believe the fire inside Aaron's had been burning for some time. In High Point, Meg Smith, Time Warner Cable News.
Investigators say it will likely be several more days before they can figure out what caused the fire. A second person is in custody in connection with the shooting death of a Greensboro teenager last week. 22-year-old Demario Danzy is charged with first-degree murder. 21-year-old Brenda Goins was arrested last week under the same charge. Police say Jermaine Hayes Jr. was fatally shot Tuesday outside of Spencer Street Apartments last week. The shooting followed a dispute involving the three. Danzy and Goins are being held in jail in Greensboro without bond. The homicide is still under investigation. Verdict watch in the trial for Officer Randall Carrick. The 12-person jury of 8 women and 4 men started deliberating this afternoon. They must decide if Carrick is guilty or not guilty of voluntary manslaughter in the 2013 shooting death of Jonathan Ferrell. The judge explained exactly what a voluntary manslaughter charge entails. Kate Gaier has more on closing arguments and what happens now.
Well, jurors heard about 2.5 hours of closing arguments, and with those closing arguments, just like throughout this trial, they heard 2 different stories of what happened that morning.
Jonathan Ferrell was unarmed, that Jonathan Ferrell posed no threats, no harm to the officers on the scene.
Prosecutor Adrian Harris took jurors back through the morning. Ferrell was shot 10 times by Officer Carrick. He called the defense's theory that Ferrell was breaking into a home at 2:30 in the morning absurd. He quoted Martin Luther King Jr. and replayed the dash cam video and blamed the officers for already making up their minds about Ferrell before they arrived on scene. Also said this case isn't about sympathy, but did ask jurors to allow Officer Carrick to return home to his 15-month-old son. Thought at one point maybe prosecutors would jump on that, pointing out that Jonathan Ferrell can never return home to his family, but they didn't. Now we wait as the jury deliberates. Reporting from the courthouse, Kate Gaier, Time Warner Cable News.
Vandals strike again on UNC Chapel Hill's campus, this time spray painting "Who is Sandra Bland" on the Silent Sam statue and the post office across Franklin Street. Crews worked to remove the graffiti as students stood by taking pictures. Bland's death sparked protests last month. The 28-year-old African-American woman was found dead in a Texas jail cell. Police say the 28-year-old hung herself. Her family doesn't believe it.
I thought that it's a great place to put something like that up there, to make the Black Lives Matter movement so prominent on something that is really important on this campus.
I think people are very angry in this country. Over the past year especially, I've seen America grow more and more divisive.
Silent Sam has been on campus since 1913 to honor more than 300 UNC students who died fighting the Civil War. It was vandalized last month with the words "Black Lives Matter."